Hello, I'm Patrick and thank you for joining me on my channel here. I've started a new series here called Billing Disputes. And what this is all about is if you're having trouble with charges placed on your credit card by a merchant, things that you can do to help yourself, protect yourself, and get your money back. So, over the course of the last couple of months here, I've been working at a call center for a big name bank. I can't name any of that, sorry. Don't ask. Anyway, I've noticed there is a lot of credit card holder ignorance. And I'm not trying to be mean about that in the least. And just like when I'm on the phone, I have to tell people, please excuse my monotone voice. I'm really just trying to help you here. So, anyway, I hope that you can find the series that I start to be profitable. I don't know how often I'm going to get to make videos. Please feel free to ask questions and I'll do my very best to give you an answer. Now understand that I only work for one big name bank that services all the cards like Visa, MasterCard, and American Express. Now, I'm not aware of how other banks process their disputes and such, and how your bank may deal with that may vary slightly from what I'm telling you. I'm also not going to bash where I work or anything like that. Don't ask me for any lowdown information on them. I'm not here to tell you that. That is not what I'm going to be doing here on YouTube at all. I'm going to make that very clear. What I'm really trying to do here is help save you some time and possibly get your money back, whereas you might have messed up and messed your dispute up to where they couldn't get your money back. I'm not going to give you very clear specifics about cases that I deal with. I'm going to be very vague about that. I do respect the privacy of the people that I work for and such. It's nobody else's business about who they are or what they purchase. Don't bother me with that stuff. So anyway, this is just the introduction video to what I have coming up. I don't know what to tell you to expect, but I do hope that I can help some of you out there, because there's a lot of people that call in and they're clueless what they're supposed to do. I'll go ahead and tell you the very first thing that all the banks expect you to do because of the Card Act. You must have made an attempt to contact the merchant. If you call your bank and start to dispute a charge, the first thing that they're supposed to do is ask you if you contacted the merchant or not. Even if this is in a case that you did not authorize the charge or you don't recognize the charge or any of that. Usually on your billing statement you will also notice that there's some numbers out beside of it. Look very closely. If there's enough digits to be a phone number, chances are that it is. Even if it starts with a 0, just exclude the 0. Chances are that's the merchant's phone number. And if you can't find it on your billing statement, just copy and paste, or type it out word for word what's on your billing statement, and a lot of times you're going to find it in a Google search who billed you and get their telephone number. But not always, especially not if it's foreign. This is only for US people. If you're overseas and you deal with an overseas bank, and you're not in the US and don't have an account at a US credit card bank, then I don't know how much this is going to help you, to be honest with you. But anyway, you'll need to go ahead and try and make contact with the merchant. Try and rectify it faithfully first. That way you've already got that on your side when you call. That'll save them a whole lot of other questions. Even if you aren't able to get a hold of them. I mean, at least wait on hold 10 or 15 minutes. Don't just wait like a minute or two. Try and show the bank that you've done everything that you can do to rectify the situation, and there's nothing else that you can do, is basically the situation. I mean, if you've got merchandise or whatever, please, save yourself the hassle. Do your best to get it returned. The bank expects you to try and return the merchandise so they can get your money back. I guess it's going to wind up being a long video. If the merchant has a no cancellation policy and it was posted anywhere in their store, or it says it on your sales slip, there's nothing that, at least where I work, there's nothing that bank can do for you. Same as if the merchant gives you credit in store, they also can't help you there either. I guess the other thing a lot of people get mad about is the particular one that I work at. If you've had a new charge placed on your card and it's not very old, it may have a status on it which is called temporary or pending authorization, and that's where the charge hasn't been finalized. The bank's waiting on final charge information to be received from the merchant so that they can pay the merchant. And I don't know about all banks, but the bank that I work for, they won't stop those. They have to be posted to your actual statement before they'll dispute the charge. And lots of people get very upset about that and usually think that, you know, I'm just trying to be very unhelpful and not friendly just because I can't dispute that charge even if they didn't make it or it got canceled or something like that. Guys, when they're in that status, it can take, you know, sometimes they post the next day, but usually it's something like 3 to 7 days before they post. And I can go on about that kind of stuff, but look, anyway, the videos that I'm going to try to do, I'm going to try and explain to you the process that you're looking at dealing with when you call your bank to deal with a dispute that you want to place on your credit card. And, you know, a lot of people, they sit on hold sometimes when we have high call volume to hear stuff that they're going to have to call back or we need more information from them, and it makes them really mad, and I do understand that and all. So I'm hoping with this video series I'm putting together that I can make a lot of people's credit card experience much more smoothly. And I know a lot of people would say, well, what have you learned not to do with your credit card and your experience? And the first thing that I would come back and say to you, and I won't know, I can't out merchants by name, but I have learned where not to shop, I'll tell you. But any of these places that advertise a trial or a free sample, you just pay the shipping, you better beware and not bother with it. You'll wind up with more charges on your card in the next 15 days, and then every month you'll be on a recurring subscription. And if you did not cancel that, the bank can't dispute it. It has to be canceled before the charge was made. Otherwise, you got no right to dispute it, because all the ones that I've seen, if you scroll down to the bottom of their website, it has a terms button on it, and you'll read that you'll get locked into an auto-renewing membership. And most of those websites, no, they're not clear about it on the front, but when you go and put your information in to make your trial purchase, you click a box that says agree to the terms and conditions, and the merchant knows that the bank won't dispute it because you agreed to the terms whether you read them or not, because the link was right there. And that would be probably the biggest headache that I deal with, is people lose a lot of money to that. So beware, and I mean especially elderly people, because the bank requires us to treat everybody the same, and whether you're a very good paying customer or not, we actually have to treat you all the same, believe it or not. I get a lot of people that get mad because they pay their credit card bill off in full every month and don't pay any interest to the bank, and the bank doesn't make any money on them, and they tell me that they're a really good customer and they expect that I can do a service that I can't even do for anybody. That's another thing that people have a big misconception of. If you actually pay your credit card off in full every month, you're not one of the better customers of the bank. If you talk to a supervisor, they're not as likely to help you as somebody that's paid a couple of $1,000s in interest. Now, if you're talking about favoritism, that's the only real favoritism I know of, other than high deposit, checking and savings accounts. It's not really the amount of credit that you have on your card. It's actually the balance that you carry, and have you been actually paying on that? Because if you're good about paying your interest, well, you're the best customer the bank has. And I don't speak to hardly anybody that understands this at all. Now, no, the bank does not like late payers. They like people that pay on time. But understand, they like people that carry a balance on their credit card and pay the interest on that balance. Yes. So anyway, I was trying to just make a little intro to this, but here I got started. I'm full of information, and I hope that it can be a profit to you. Like I said, I do see people waste a lot of money because they don't pay attention to terms and conditions. Any kind of purchase that you make that's not at like a Walmart or something like that, when you purchase something online or buy services, do yourself a real big favor and make sure and read that tiny fine print. Because, I mean, I've even had people on the phone tell me that they didn't read it because it was too small or too lengthy, and that cost them money and time. If you have any questions, feel free to drop me a line, because I just got started with all this, so it's likely the questions that I get asked right now will wind up being on video, because, I mean, if one person asks, I'm sure 10 others will like it. So anyway, my name's Patrick, and I appreciate you for watching my videos. Subscribe. I've got all kinds of other videos on various subjects between religion and trucks, so maybe you could find something else that can profit you as well. May the Lord Jesus Christ bless you richly.